Hello, hello, hello. Listen, we're going to talk about the power of tracking and budgeting together. I love this subject because I decided to go back to basics, okay, about your money. Let's just talk about it because we have this habit of just like tracking. We don't know much about budgeting because of what we have in mind, what the whole world is teaching, and it sounds like it's not my thing. It's more like tracking. But how do they go together? Because I want you to know that today that budgeting and tracking go hand to hand. Now, you cannot change what you don't see, and you cannot grow what you don't plan. Okay? So that's why when it comes to managing your money, tracking and budgeting go hand to hand. Again, tracking helps you understand where your money is actually going, right? And budgeting helps you decide where you want it to go. You see the difference here? Okay, we're gonna dive into this. I love this subject. Like, this is just like, it is so basic, but so important. Okay, this is where we start. Now, most people, right, they try to fix their money without doing either. I mean, I mentioned the tracking, but how good did they get at doing that? And then they end up feeling stuck, frustrated, running behind. Some bills don't get paid. It brings this whole confusion. But when you learn to track and budget consistently, things start changing, right? And then you see it's like just like shifting because there's so many good things that start happening. You go from like this whole confusion about your money to clarity. And it's not about guessing anymore. It's about like choosing what you want and how you want it. So let's break it down step by step so you can finally feel in control, confident that you know exactly where your money is going. Are you ready for this? Let's dive in. By the way, I am Olga Markin from the Green Wealth Legacy Power Team, where we'll help you transform your mindset, your budget, your credit, and your debt so they can actually work for you. And as your debt coach, I will help you pay off your debt faster. Now, I have a lot of examples. Okay. And those examples are they probably gonna be seem similar to you. I mean, like the same thing. Yeah, similar. But what I want you to pay attention to is how I'm using the example because it's important to understand the difference and how they work together, tracking and budgeting. So just pay attention to the examples. You might find yourself in one of these examples, which is good, right? Because they are real life examples. And now, how do you actually understand what you need to do moving forward? Okay. So, because I want you to feel confident from now on. That's my goal for today with this video. Okay, so let's talk about the first one, which is the purpose of tracking. It helps you see where your money goes. Okay, now here is an example for that. You let's say you think you spend like $150 on eating out. Now, at the end of the month, you realizing that you spent $375. I'm talking about like 30 days after. And you realizing that that $375 were is coming from what is it? Your Starbucks coffee, doing your nails. What else do I have on my notes here? Friday night, like with your friends, like a takeout. If you were tracking, by the second week, you will have noticed that you are going like over $150 on just spending your money that way. But because tracking was not part of your system, right? At the end of the month, which most of us do take time to check the money, that's where you realize that, oh my goodness, $375. What happened? Well, guess what? These expenses. Now, Without tracking, that's what happens. Money just slips through your fingers. You don't even realize it. And that's why I want to bring this today because I want to make you understand the importance of pay attention to where your money goes. Okay? So, when you pay attention to where your money goes, you see the real story. You see exactly where what happened. And that's just like bring awareness. Now, when you notice that $375 where it went, here are two questions you're going to ask yourself. And I want you to think about these questions really. Do I want to keep spending this much? You see, it's not about not spending, it's about this much because you can use your money to do other things that would be used on purpose. Okay. And then the other question is, oh, could some of this money go to my savings or debt instead? How about that? Right? Think about it. You're not going to stop eating out, but you're going to kind of like think about, be a little bit more intentional about it. So, really, tracking reveals your spending habits, your spending patterns. So, when you see that, you are moved to change, right? Yes. Now, that was tracking. Let's talk about budgeting, the purpose of it. It helps you decide where your money should go. This is good because you will see how powerful this is. Let's say you got paid $3,000. If you don't budget this $3,000, it's gonna fly out of your bank account like phew. Right? Okay, so you know what I'm talking about here. I mean, we faced it before, right? But let's say you decide to be intentional and you want to budget that $3,000 effectively. Here's what you're going to do. $1,200 for rent, $400 for groceries, $300 towards your debts, right? $200 into your savings accounts, different savings accounts. I love this one. $100 for fun. Listen, that is a bill. I want you to consider that as a bill. If you don't have money for it because it's really tight, I get it. But I want you to keep that in mind. You need to budget money for fun. And then you have $50 for self-care, of course. And then you have $50 for a future trip, of course. Oh my goodness, all that. Think about it. When you assign your money that specific way, it is so clear to you. And if you and I meet and then you tell me, hey, I got paid $3,000, and I'll be like, so what happened to the $3,000? You're going to be like, hey, Olga, I got it. I know exactly what that $3,000 went. You're going to know because you did a good job by assigning every dollar a job. Like it's basically like who has your money? Is it the rent company? Is it the water bill? Is it a unexpected savings account? Is it fund money account? Who has your money? That's the question. And you just have to be ready to answer because you did what you were supposed to do. So really that makes you be in control when you budget your money. And again, if someone asks you, where did it all go? You will know exactly the answer. And that's the kind of answer I'm looking for because you're going to have that list, right? So, budgeting equal intentional living. It's better that way because you really feel good about working hard. It even creates a different energy. Like when you go to work, you feel excited about working every day, coming back and waking up in the morning, do things for your family, for yourself. It's like when you have control of your money, your life just changes. It doesn't just change in with your money. It also change in different aspects of your life. And that's my goal right here. Okay? All right. So let's move on. I do have a couple more examples that I want to go through. And then after this one, we're actually going to talk about what is first. Do you track and then you budget, or you budget and then you track? Listen, there's a difference. But I want you to stay and see how they go hand to hand. Very powerful. Now, here's another example here. Let's say, so here's another one, process of tracking. Okay, so what really happens when you in the process of tracking? That involves like recording all your expenses as they come. Okay, remember that previous example where you buy your latte instead of like trashing the receipt, you keep it or you scan it or you just write it down. Okay, you just record them. Now here's another example. You just bought a $6, what is it, sandwich at, I don't know, Panera Bread. I love Panera. Right now you will have that receipt. Okay, don't trash it, keep it with you, because you just want to like see exactly how you what's happening to your money. And then at lunch you're going to spend maybe $12, right? That's going to get recorded. At the end of the day, you're going to sit down. Here's what you're going to notice: $6 sandwich, $12 lunch, $20 gas, and then the $90 electricity bill. That's what happens. By tracking in real time, you see exactly what happened to your money. It's like you don't guess. The work doesn't happen in your brain. The work happens by looking at your bank statements or all the receipts that you kept with you. Okay? That's how you want things to go. So you can see exactly what's happening, how you're using your money. And so this gives you another real story, real time, and it creates awareness. That is the beginning of creating awareness of your money. Okay? Now, that was tracking. How about when you budget, the process of budgeting? How does it really, really happen? All right, we're going to dive into this a little bit because I really want you to understand that difference. Okay. You got paid $2,500, okay, for the month. Now, hear me here, hear me correctly on this one. Before you swipe that card, before you pay a bill, before you pay yourself, which is like your savings account, sit down. Be intentional about this 25, it's $2,500, okay? You need to budget this. Every single dollar. I mean, one, two, three, four, five, till $2,500. I want you to budget for that. And here's how it's gonna go. 1,000 goes towards your rent, $400 goes on your groceries, $150 goes to your gas, $100 goes to your phone and subscriptions, $150 goes towards your fun and self-care, right? And then $300 goes towards your savings or your debt. You can even split that 150 to your savings and then 150 towards your debt. And then you're probably gonna have something left at the end, and that goes towards everything else. You could add more to your savings, to your debts, to your groceries, or whatever. That's beautiful. Again, if I ask you what happened to the $2,500, you will know exactly what happened. Like, who has your money? Who are you giving your money to? And I want you to make a list. Don't just tell me, the credit cards, the bills. No, that's not the end. That's not the correct answer. The correct answer will be that you allocated your money to this account, to that bill, to that account, your savings, your debt. That's how you know. It's not gonna come out of here. It will be on your bank statements, it will be on your paper that you wrote down. We're not here to guess. We're here to be intentional. And that's why we write things down, because we want to create awareness for our finances. And that's how we start growing. Okay? So you want to create that change in your life. You want to create that shift. Now, between budgeting and tracking, so far, what do you think comes first? Tell me, right? Pause the video. Just think about everything I said so far. What would you say? And now you can play back. And here's the answer. It's budgeting. If you understand what I mean by budgeting with all these examples that I've shared with you so far, would you know like the budgeting, right? Like if you don't budget the way I'm teaching you, why would you track? Like what is it that you're gonna track? There's nothing to track. You're gonna tell me you're tracking your expenses. That's not what it is. That means you're not using your money intentionally. You're able to track because you're using your money intentionally after budgeting, right? Because when you budget, budgeting is basically just assigning every dollar a job. You know exactly who has your money, where your money is going. I mean, every single dollar until your account is like zero because you were able to send your money to the appropriate um people, accounts, company, right? And now, because you were able to do that, now you're going to start tracking. That is the power of these two together. But I want you to learn how to budget first. Then you could track because here's why you need to track after budgeting. Because when you track, you're going to look at your bank statements the day after and the day after, okay? Because money are going to start coming out of your accounts because you paid your bills, you send a transfer to your savings account. So what's going to happen is that you're going to see how your money got transferred to the next day or maybe 2 days after. You're going to see how your water bill got paid, right? Or your rent went through the system. There was no glitch in the system. How many times have you made a payment to a bill company and it came back, it got returned, and you were not aware of it? Listen, I've been there. I know the pain behind it. When you don't track, and then when it's time to pay the next bill, that's when you realize that, oh, the previous month was not paid. Ooh, ouch. Oh my goodness. Yeah, ooh, that hurts because now you have two payments. And guess what? If you don't make that payment, that previous one, they're gonna send you a letter. There's probably a letter on the way saying that your service are gonna be cut off because there was no payment. Now you have two bills for the two payments to make for the same bill. Ouch. And that's what I'm trying to avoid today. So you want to create that system where you budget and then you track. Love that. Isn't it powerful? Okay, so that's what you want to do. And that's the reason why you want to budget where you assign your money to where it's supposed to go and then you track, you make sure everything is going through, and that happens on your bank statements. I don't want you to think you don't need to call them. You only call them if it still hasn't gone through, maybe 4 or 5 days after, right? Because that's almost like a week, almost the end of a week. And so you want to stay on top of that. And when you work with us, we'll actually help you create a system where you're going to do your money date, which is the time you pay your bills, every week. The four of us, we sisters, you want to do that. You want to create a system where you do your money date every week. So that's what you want to do. Okay? So very important. Make sure your bills are going through the system. There's no glitch. There's no mispayment. There's no late payments. There's no fee because you didn't track and the bill didn't get paid on time. And now, we have all this mess and confusion and the overwhelm and whatever. Okay. So you understand we budget first and then we track. Okay. Till the next week, we need to do another money date. And then whenever we get paid again. Okay. It's not necessarily when you get paid. I know that's what a lot of people are saying, that you do your money day when you get paid. That's not, yes, but that's not what we teach really practically talking. We want you to do it every week because you can catch those little mistakes. All right. So we're going to move on to the third one, where this one is you focus while tracking. Okay. And this is a reactive approach. This is about tracking. You're looking at your past spending. Here's an example. You check your bank statement at the end of the week and then you realize that there's a $200, $220 expense. This is coming from eating out. But you thought it was like $100. Do you know why that goes in your brain like that? It's because you were just swiping your card with no intentions. Yeah. And so you thought, oh yeah, I'm just doing like a $25 and then I'm just doing like a $55. But then it adds up. And that's why, because you didn't track it, it's you see that $220 just boom right there. It hurts, right? And so we want to stop that, right? Because tracking will really create that aha moment for you. It's kind of an aha moment where it's almost at the same time it's kind of painful, but it's good aha moment because now it's like, okay, I don't want this to happen again. So what do I need to do? Right? This reality is too much. That's a lot of money. I thought it was $100, but it's double the money. So we don't want that. Okay. So it's important to review your expenses. As you're spending your money, you want to create that system where you can see what's going on really. You record everything and then you see what's happening. You understand what's going on with your money. Again, your tracking here will help you really like create that awareness. But when you focus while budgeting, that is a proactive approach. We don't do reactive things here. Budgeting is more effective, more powerful, okay? You're planning for your future. So here's an example for that. Let's say you know about your friend's wedding what is it wedding anniversary. I actually received one a couple weeks ago, and then when I got the message, I was like, yeah, I was so excited. I was like jumping, they celebrating 10 years. But you know what, for a second I was like, wait, there's a gift, there's a dress I need to and then the list just went on and on, the shoes, my hair. Now you need to budget for that. You need to put money on the side for that. So instead of just waiting at the last minute and be like, I'm gonna use my credit card for that. Ooh, mm-mm. You budget. You could start thinking about, okay, because I see my money, can I put $20 away from away for that expense? Because you know you're gonna need to get a gift. I would need to get her a gift. I would need to get a dress. I would need to get a pair of shoes. So can I put $20 on the side starting today? Because I received the message. Now I need to be a little more intentional about my expenses and everything else that I do with my money, so I can really create that expense. We're not going to be in a reactive mode where we're going to end up using the credit card and not be able to pay that balance on that credit card and create more debt. We don't do that. We stop that. Okay. We want to be like we want to budget the money. Okay. We want to be like $20 today, this week, $20 next week, or maybe every paycheck, can you do $50? And then think about, we're not looking at $500 spending here, right? We're looking at maybe $100, maybe $50. I don't know. What do you got? What do you get your shoes? What do you go when you looking for a dress for a wedding? Okay, so just be a little intentional about that. That's what I'm saying here. Just be a little bit intentional about that. Okay, so you want to think about that. Budgeting is like using a GPS. You have the GPS, you input the information, you choose your destination, and then the trip starts. As you drive, it tells you where to go, almost like you are assigning every dial to, you're giving a job to every dial that you have. So it's not about reactive to your money, it's more like proactive to your money. You plan for the future because you want to be able to face those unexpected events that will happen. Okay? Make sense so far? Are you enjoying this? Okay, so we're gonna move to the last example. Again, I created 10 reasons why it's important to budget and then track. And so if you want that document, I can send it to you. Just send me email me at this email, the team at greenwealthlegacy.com, and I will send you the document. So we're going to move on to the next one, which is the last example. This is awareness while tracking. It helps you increase awareness of spending patterns. Because when you start spending your money, you realizing that you are spending a little too much, like $120 on takeout. You're going to see that because you're tracking your money, right? And when you see that, it's going to create that moment where you're going to be like, whoa, it's only been a week and I'm already at $120. That's just the tracking system that you're looking at, right? And I just want you to understand that tracking is not about creating this guilt, creating this shame, like you feel so weak, you're powerless, you don't know how to manage your money. None of that stuff. Please remove that out of your brain. Please, my dear. No. Tracking is just to tell you that this is what is happening real time. Are you going to keep going this way or do you want to address it? And honestly, honesty will really help you make the right decision. And you will make the decisions that are actually aligned with the things that you want to do. So this is where tracking will actually help you create clarity also. Okay. Now, what about when it comes to budgeting? Awareness while budgeting, you become conscious of how you are using your money. Okay. Now, you're gonna sit down to create your monthly budget, and then you're gonna realize that you are spending more on subscriptions than spending more on your actual goals. That is huge. That is huge. That's like a red flag. We need to address that like right away. We need to fix that, right? You want to be spending more on your goals, more creating savings accounts, more putting money, more money to your savings accounts than these subscriptions. Because I mean, really, how many of us really stay on top of all those subscriptions? I actually, Diane, she was one of our clients. She is done with the program. But when we were working together, she found out because she was doing her money did consistently, like every week, she found out that she was paying $50 to a membership, a gym membership for a whole year. If you add that, it gives you $600 in a year that she spent and she was not aware of it. There you go. Okay? So you understand what needs to be done here. So really, when you budget, it will really help you ask yourself this question. Does this match what matters to me right now? And that's how you start creating that awareness to yourself. It helps you get like this clarity. And then you start like choosing what you need to do, like making that right financial decisions, like doing stuff on purpose, not just like, oh, this is how I am, this is my habit, this is what I do. No, you become more like proactive the way you make your financial decisions. And that's how, instead of budgeting being something to create guilt or tracking to create guilt, whatever, budgeting would be something that creates more like intention. It's a tool for that helps you really align the financial decisions with the things that you want to do. There's nothing about restriction here because remember, in some of these examples that I share with you, you budget for fun. It's an expense for you. You budget for your future vacation. It is an expense for you. So consider that as part of your the items on your list when you budget. Okay. So I hope this was good. This was good. I really enjoyed this. A budgeting equal intention. Again, we want to budget first, which is allocating, give a job to every dollar, right? Make sure that you know who has your money, okay? And then you can start tracking because you want to make sure, is it going through the system? Is it getting paid? Is the money getting transferred to the savings account? You want to make sure you look at all that. Okay? So, why you need both? So powerful, my friend. Think of tracking as your rear view mirror. That isn't it this one right here, right? Because you drive and then you look in the back just to make sure that there's no crazy people there, right? That's what it is. It shows you the patterns. Think of a budgeting as your GPS. I mentioned that. because it gives you direction. Go left, go right, stay straight, yield, stuff like that, right? Alone, they are very helpful, tracking and budgeting. Okay? Well, here's what I'm saying. Alone, budgeting is good. But when you put it together, tracking and budgeting together, it's powerful. It turned that chaos, that financial chaos, into clarity. This is not about being perfect. We cannot be perfect, period. So we're not going to think about that. I'm just helping you here be present with your money, helping you just create that awareness that's going to help you really be more intentional about how you spend your money, who has your money. Because when you know what is happening and when you plan what's next, you stop surviving. It's not about, oh, I'm just surviving here, just waiting for the next day to come. No. You start building that financial future on purpose. It's with your goals, it's what you want. Doesn't matter how you start, messy, small, whatever, just get on it. I just want you to start. Because you got what it takes to really manage your money. You have that power, woman. Yes, you do. And I'm here to work with you. Yes, I promise you, I will be there with you. So there's no mistakes. And even there is a mistake, we can fix it. That's what we call adjusting, right? Okay. Yes. Now, I would love to know, are you starting with tracking or budgeting first? Do you understand what that means? What that means, right? What is it? Now, if you listen to this, I just want you to put in the comment. If you understand what this means, which one are you going to start with? Tell me. I can't wait to see it. And also, when you listen to this, I just want you, please share this with anybody that you know this will be beneficial for them, because I want the whole world to know about this. Basic information about your finances is what you need every day. So tell me what you would do. Is it tracking or budgeting first? What is it, right? Share with me. And I also want to mention to you that we do have Membership Money Academy. This is a place where we really empower women to take control of their finances in a way that it aligns with the things that they want to do. Right? This is a place where you get all the full support, because I can't just imagine you trying to figure out this chaos by yourself. And at the same time, you need to take care of your family. And when I mean by taking care of your family, it is not a one job, a one thing that you need to do. You have huge responsibilities. And on top of that, you need to manage your finances. How are you able to balance all that? You got the support you need. You got the support you deserve. As you can see, it's the four of us together doing this. That should tell you something, right? Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay focused, okay? Stay with the process. Trust it, it works. And I will see you on another video.